And my older son is going to Syracuse at German Technician School, and his final year, and he's going to be on the job market as of May or June.
As a journalist.
As a journalist. Up until 2 years ago, he was determined to try and be a print journalist. It finally sunk into him the last couple of years that there wasn't a great future.
Yeah. My uncle is a newspaper editor. I'm talking all the time about how it's falling apart.
Tell me what he...
He's been the, what is he now? Maybe the editor of Miami Herald again.
Okay.
And was an editor in Minnesota for a while. Anders Gyllenhaal is his name. Thank you. This looks like good coffee.
So can you remind me how old the kids? There's 2 kids, right?
No, just one kid. Yeah, Ramona. She's 3.
And you know, it's funny how you think because I recorded everything. Everybody records everything, I guess. But it's funny how you forget exactly more or less what happened around a year and the 18 months. You know, the various progressions.
So true. It's so true.
And it's just I can't remember what 3 is other than they're not 2s and they're starting to calm down a little bit, right?
Yeah, she's very, very articulate, my daughter. Like, she's always been able to really express herself, and so, but that's just gotten even more so I can really kind of talk with her, and she told me today, well, I don't know, I really do try to not to talk about her too much in press, although she's really been coming up a lot in terms of talking about Crazy Heart, even though I just started talking about it, because her life and her kind of lifespan is very much a part of my doing that movie and how I did it and all of that, so like she was born in October, so she's 3, so and I was completely not interested at all in working. And I did Batman when she was about 7 months old, 7 months until 14 months, but I mean, I barely worked on that movie, and I did try to give everything I could and express everything I could, but I was also very focused on having an infant, and I really barely worked on the movie. I was mostly with her.
Yeah.
And then when she was like 14, 15 months, I started to feel like I'm an actress, and I actually really want to, like, I have to do this. Like, I have something's really changed in me.
Right.
But then that was around the time of the strike, and there was nothing good, and the movies I wanted didn't want me, and the movies that wanted me were terrible, and then Crazy Heart came, but it was a little later. It was like I was like really, really, really hungry to do something for myself. I mean, she was almost 2 when we shot that movie. I did Away We Go, but that was, again, it was like 4 days. It was fun, but like really tiny. And
wasn't it shot in late 07 or something, or early 08?
This was shot not last September, but the previous September, like August, September, October.
I mean, 07.
07. And I guess I kind of I just was like, I was bubbling over with the desire to kind of express something for me.
Right.
And that's also what this movie's sort of about for Jean. I mean, she's kind of like got a 4-year-old, been trying to be a good mom, been trying to sacrifice all sorts of things for him, and then I think she just kind of goes, I want something for myself.
What's the, there's a line about this, it's like living or being with is it a rattlesnake?
Yeah.
Now that implies, when you hear that, say if you heard it out of context, you would say sounds like someone who has a temper problem. Striking suddenly. But one thing he doesn't have wrong with him, he doesn't seem to have
I think she's
a hair trigger temper.
No, I think she's just, I love that scene actually in the movie, because it's like, one thing I thought, although I didn't work very intellectually on this movie, which was I think kind of like a gift of working with a great actor and working with a good script, is it's not, you don't have to sort of solve problems all the time. But one thing I did think was, how does a woman who's 30, who's really trying to make a healthy life for herself, end up with him and not be an idiot and not be totally blind? How does that happen, and how could she be a woman that I could relate to. I mean, she totally could be, you know. But like how? And what does that look like? But I thought about it a little bit, but then I didn't think about it much. But I love that scene because it's like the way people actually are, you know, that they don't see anything, they don't talk about anything. That's the only time they really talk about him drinking. That and the other time where I kind of like straddle him and say, don't drink in front of my son.
Yeah.
You know, that's it, you know. Right. But so I think she's just kind of saying, it's like there's something venomous about you, you know. I mean, I don't think it's that literal. No, because he doesn't have a temper tantrum. He's like cool in anything, you know. Yeah. Right. But she's just talking about his drinking.
The way I obviously there are certain women in their, let's say their 30s, late 20s, whatever, who like older guys or whatever. That is usually because of some, you know, incomplete element in their relationship with their dads, right? Not terribly complex psychology there. And the other way I could have rolled with it was, I don't see a good person. She's a good person. She's not I don't have any. There's a goodness, no question about it. And I would have a question about a mom with a four-year-old, right? And I just think that, you know, one way or another, being a son of an alcoholic, my father was not a gross alcoholic. He's just, you know, put the martinis away in the evening. And
like a functioning one.
Functioning, and, you know, finally caught up with him, and he went into the program in the mid-70s, which I respected him for. But, you know, alcoholic personalities are alcoholic personalities, whether you're drinking or not. I mean, it's, you know, it's a little more. Anyway, the basic thing is, I could see younger woman, older guy, even with a drinking problem. I could certainly see younger woman, older guy if she has a little bit of issue with alcohol. But I was struggling with 4-year-old plus alcoholic older boyfriend.
Well, you know, those are the circumstances, right? That's the circumstance of the story.
Right.
And
because one way or another, alcoholics are going to fuck up and do something wrong. Yeah. They're going to screw it up.
Yeah, but like, think about.
And he doesn't. The interesting thing, you know, I really like about the way it's written. He doesn't really screw up that badly. He's just running around. The kid's just running around the way I did that myself. You know, you're just sitting there talking to him, and he just runs away for a second. Not like he loses.
Yeah, but look, I have a 3-year-old. I don't have a 4-year-old. I don't know how it shifts when they're 4. Right. But when he says that, you want to explore? You can. You remember that in the bar? I thought, really? You know, and like lose sight of him. Like, you know, my daughter were here. I could let her run around, but like I would not lose sight of her. But anyway, in terms of, I don't know how to answer that, except that, like, I had no problem with falling for him, you know? I mean, I think he's...
Because in that context, he's that guy, that, and performers, great actors, great singers, have a way of getting to your heart.
Well, I don't know why. I think... What I love about the movie is that it isn't easily analyzed in that way. You know, in human beings and things you choose. And like when I watched the movie, I thought, because I recently saw this final cut. I saw a previous version of it, you know, a few months ago. It was just a couple days ago that I saw this cut. And I thought, you know, I'm more proud of this work than anything I've done. But when I watched it, I thought, God, you know, some of the other roles I've done that I feel proud of, and there are some I'm more proud of than others, but some of the ones I feel really proud of that I expressed something, I really did, and like very kind of fierce and very kind of like brazen and hot, you know, like kind of, and much gentler in this movie and much